Hi, everyone. My name is Elsie Wu. I'm a licensed real estate broker in California, and I'm also what's commonly called a mom and pop rental housing provider in California. I worked as a rental property manager in California for about 10 years. My husband and I are also renters in a mobile home park. So we wear many hats, and we have friends and family members who need affordable housing. And today I am here to share with you why I recommend a no vote on Prop 33 and a yes vote on Prop 34. So what is Prop 33? It basically means repealing the Costa Hawkins Rental Housing Act. And once repealed, it prohibits the state from limiting the local jurisdictions from maintaining or enacting or expanding residential rent control ordinances. So then step back, what is Costa Hawkins Rental Housing Act? So in a nutshell, it says it exempts single family homes, which includes condos and townhomes, and new construction after 1995 from rent control statewide. And it also allows the landlords of all properties to establish the initial rental rate close to market rate or whatever they choose for new tenants, whether it's brand new constructions or after a tenant has moved out after 3 years or 5 years. So again, this ability for landlords to establish initial rental rates was for all properties, and it's called vacancy decontrol. So this was Costa Hawkins Act. And why is this important? Let's put this in context of today's rent control. So let's talk about Assembly Bill 1482, which was passed in 2019. So this is statewide. Currently in California, all housing of 2 units and up have rent control. And the rent control basically says the rent cap annual increase could be 5% plus the local consumer price index or 10%, whichever is lower. And the exemption is that single family homes, condos, and townhomes are exempted. And also new construction, the first 15 years are exempted. So basically this says we do have rent control. We have rent control statewide already. The exclusions are the exclusions to encourage new construction of housing supply in California and also to encourage private owners to rent their properties to potential renters. And there was an additional element in AB 1482, which is a just cause eviction, which says that if you have a tenant who stayed on property for more than 1 year, you cannot terminate the lease simply because you don't want to renew. You have to have certain causes. And just cause eviction included in AB 1482 means that duplexes and up, with the exemption of any new construction built in the last 15 years, duplexes and up have just cause eviction. And this effort was brought together by the legislator, bringing together the the tenant rights groups and the housing providers. And it was years and multiple iterations of housing laws, of efforts to put together AB 1482 so that we will continue to build, to encourage housing supply construction and more housing introduction or rental housing introduction. So then we have AB 1482 in place. Why Prop 33? Well, the proponents of Prop 33 says the rent is too high. We just have to do something. And that something means give the cities and counties whatever control they wanted to exempt rent control, including single family home, condos, and townhouses, and regardless of the age of construction. So it claims that it's the corporate landlords that are charging fair housing, and that's what they're trying to stop. But in reality, this law would affect majority of rental owners who are actually mom and pop owners like us. So if you Google, you'll see a lot of different interpretations and projections of the uh, implications from Prop 33. People talk about vacancy decontrol, which means that potentially the city or the county could set, or local township could set rent control such that it would never go up, even when the rental unit turns over, even from brand new construction of multi-unit apartment buildings. And they also talk about unelected rent board, which is in place today in Berkeley, in San Francisco, in Oakland, in Los Angeles, and that these unelected rent boards have no accountability to create more housing. Their only accountability is to keep the rent low for the existing tenants in place. So if you Google, you'll see a lot of different issues that people see about Prop 33. So in my perspective, here are the implications. First, the cities that already have strict rent control will continue to have strict rent control and stricter. So they may expand that to include single-family homes, condos, and townhomes, and to brand new apartment buildings, even if it takes 5, 10, 20 years for the housing developer to recover that initial construction cost. So the existing tenants may benefit with low rent, but the cities that don't have rent control will likely have fewer rental stock because people don't want to put their homes available for rent, and the builders don't want to build anymore because they don't want to have that potential rent control. So there will be fewer rental housing stock and therefore higher rents for new tenants. And then overall, there will be fewer homes, fewer new construction, and it's not going to address the housing shortage at all. So then there's also the additional implication of just cause eviction. I mentioned this earlier, so this is already in place in many of the rent control cities, such as San Francisco and Berkeley and Oakland. So after the tenants have stayed in place, then you can only vacate or terminate the lease if if they fail to pay rent, if they violate the rental agreement, if they cause damage to the property, or if they commit crimes on the property, for example. And so the burden of the proof is on the owner. So I had a rental unit in a small community in Berkeley, and we actually had gangs weapons raid on the property. It was televised on local TV. And even with that, even when the other tenants at the property were concerned about their safety, I could not get the city to release the information that shows the name of the renter being involved or leading to the cause of this gang's weapons raid, a SWAT team on our property. And I could not show that, I could not gather information because the person has not been convicted, and therefore I could not prove that there was criminal activity on the property. So luckily for me, that tenant actually, the original tenant of that lease actually moved out. So the issue resolved itself, but other people may not be as lucky. And I don't know how I would have dealt with the situation if, I would have to wait until that person has been convicted before I could evict, and I would have, in the meantime, lost all of the other good rent-paying tenants on the property. So this is what I fear as a potential implication if Prop 33 were to pass. So then, why no on Prop 33? In a nutshell, I believe the only people that will benefit maybe are the existing tenants. And many people will get hurt. The existing tenants will get hurt because the landlords will not be able to raise rent to cover for the capital improvements, the repair and maintenance that's needed in this high inflation, high property insurance, and high labor cost environment. The future tenants will be hurt because there will be fewer rental units and likely at higher rents. And the current and future home and condo owners will be hurt because they will no longer be able or willing to keep their former homes for rental when they move up or move down. So that notion of using their former home, saving up, buy a home, keeping that home for rental while they move up to a new home, that dream will be more difficult to realize. And all of this, does this address the housing shortage? No, it doesn't. So this is why I recommend a no vote on Prop 33. And I also recommend a yes vote on Prop 34. So California's housing crisis demands a comprehensive collaborative solution. We need our legislators in Sacramento and all the stakeholders to work together and prioritize building more quality, affordable housing. So let's spend the effort to strengthen laws like AB 42, providing stability for the apartment builders, that we don't change the rental regulations on them so quickly and so drastically. And we need to avoid short-sighted ballot initiatives like Prop 33. So this Prop 33 was proposed by AIDS Healthcare Foundation, which is actually funded by federal discount prescription drug programs. And Prop 34 is proposed by California Apartment Association. And it basically says that when a healthcare organization makes its money from federal discount prescription drug programs, it needs to use at least 98% of that revenue on providing direct patient healthcare, not on unrelated housing initiatives or other initiatives and marketing campaigns. So then if Prop 34 were to pass, an organization that misuses its revenue from these federal discount prescription drug programs could result in when they fail to comply, they could face a penalty, which is potentially 10 years of operational ban. So I propose a no vote on Prop 34 and stop these ballot initiatives and actually getting our legislators to work together with all the stakeholders to build more affordable quality housing in California. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions, and please share this video with your friends, your family, your colleagues that may be passionate about increasing affordable care in the community and also continuing to find solutions to address the housing shortage. Thank you and take care.